Okay. Right. Today is a good one. Government. Now, as we all know, pretty much everything on this planet has failed. Every single government, they're either there to grab money for themselves or to get their businesses up and running or whatever. There's very, very little done for us these days. As soon as the chips are down, it's every man for himself, which is not their fault. It's actually built into our survival instinct. So anyway, UFO. Government. How do other planets do it? Well, after 10,000 years or so, they've obviously worked out what's good and what isn't. And pretty much they all run off the same system. Now, what are we doing wrong? Our government officials, and pretty much in every other country, everybody knows them. They know their faces, they're virtual celebrities. Big mistake. Big mistake. They get lobbied by people with a lot of money who want their way. They get paid off, and if it's a bad thing, they get paid into a different country somewhere, so nobody can detect where the money's gone or how much it is. And that's been found out a few times, and they know it, and basically they're all wondering why we haven't. We've all got the Paradise Papers and everything in our hand, but why hasn't anyone done anything about it? So that's another reason. So government officials should stay at home and remain anonymous. Any parliament buildings should be preserved exactly as they are for future generations to see how things used to be done. Because believe me, it's completely different. So Houses of Parliament in England, nice building, should be preserved. Yes, they spend money on it, fair enough, but is now not fit for purpose. A lot of old men shouting in a wooden chamber. No, sorry, that's not right these days. So I'll show you how they do it on other planets, and you'll see what I mean. Right, a little bit of background first, because we haven't got there. We haven't got to personal device yet. That's number 17. But say, for instance, you passed a course in building. Your personal device suddenly knows you've passed the course because you've done the course on that and on a big screen at home, and you've gone to the centre of excellence to do the bricklaying, the concrete, or whatever. Jobs come up on your mobile, local to you, closest one first to the furthest one, and you say, yes, tomorrow I'll do that one. Click. So you get there at 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever time you've arranged. Ring the person's number there, you ring them, press the number, yes, I'm coming tomorrow, great stuff, and that's it. Now, you might have been building all your life. Because there's no competition, because there's no money, nobody wants to keep secrets. So if somebody finds out something about building, it goes onto the system. How you've done it, you have to video what you're doing with your mobile, and that gets uploaded, and lots of people who retired who used to be builders will say, yes, that's good, that's good. If there's any good ideas, they'll put them into the Centre of Excellence for assessment to be taught. So this is the background. Now, when that person can no longer build, and they see, they think they could contribute to the government, they join the buildings section because they're qualified here. No one else, unless you're qualified as a builder, can join, or architecture or anything to do with buildings. Not, oh, I was a government minister once. That's not good enough. or I've got a degree. No, that's not good enough either. You have a degree in anything apparently and get a job now. That's, you know, a big waste of money and ridiculous. So you've passed the test, you've done your building, even if you've been out building a bit and, you know, you've got all the techniques down, you know roughly what should happen, where buildings should be built and all that, you can join too. You don't have to wait till your retirement. Because this government job is a sit-at-home job, not walking about having meetings and big lunches and expenses and Jaguars. It's nothing like that. These are anonymous people sitting at home. Their number, on most of these people, they've got an anonymous number which changes daily. So other people can't group together in a particular subject and attack another group in a particular subject, in that subject. Nobody knows who anybody is ever. On a daily basis it changes. But your number is still at your level. So this is the diagram that I'm going to take this lens off so you can see the whiteboard. Sorry about the noise, that's quite loud, I know, when that comes off. So I'll bend that down a bit so you can see the board. Right, this is the diagram that I was given. Now this is completely hypothetical because there isn't anybody in this diagram, although it looks very, very like a government type arena or a round table. Knights of the Round Table type, King Arthur and all that. So in the middle, you've got that bit, and then you've got wings all the way out. Now these are all your subjects. I would put housing, road and transport. Not necessarily road, because road doesn't exist in a lot of planets, but at the moment we might need that because the transport system on other planets took many years to build. So what happens is, these are all levels, all the way in to the middle. I'll do one there. And you can only enter the first level if you've passed something in that subject. So say for instance you've worked on transport all your life, you can join here. So you go into there, there's no finance, by the way, because there's no money. That cuts out half the problem, basically. You know, it cuts out bribery, you know, putting money away as fast as you can without actually doing your job. There's lots of things like £300 a day for just going into the House of Lords for 10 minutes to pick up your mail. Now it's got to be ridiculous, hasn't it? Right, come in this end, you join this row. Lots of people. There could be 5 people in that row. There could be 20,000. If you like, 1 million. There's 63 million people in the country. If it's a big subject, you can have a lot of people in that first row. Right, as you look at the problems on your mobile and you say, yes, so-and-so shouldn't have, that shouldn't be done there, that shouldn't be done this way, people see that and they think he's good and they award you a few points. When you've got so many points, you go to the next level. And if you contribute a lot and you're known to be very knowledgeable, on and on and on and on, because a different number comes up every day for you, but the points and things along the bottom stay the same. So people will sort of work out who you are, but will never be sure. So in other words, they can't say, come on, let's have a go at, you know, because everyone can see your questions and your answers. So nobody can gang up on anybody. It's all done by mobile. And along here, or when you walk into your house, the screen knows that you're, I'll show you on personal devices in 2 subjects time, they know you're there. So the screen comes on and all your messages things come up on the screen, you can sit at home and do it. You don't see any people. It's just questions and answers and pictures of, if it's buildings, pictures of roads of its transport system, etc. So anyway, so you move up slowly. So all you get at this end are the very clever ones. Now they're the ones, when they all agree, are allowed to change this. This is the law here. Now that, because it's that doesn't exist. That is 20% or so much percentage of everybody's mobile as a memory, using processing power on the mobile devices when they're sitting in somebody's pocket and not being used. So you've got a massive computer, massive amount of memory, massively powerful, massively fast. So that there doesn't actually exist. That's on everyone's mobile. Okay, and all this is on everyone's mobile too. But you go down the levels and gradually work your way up, and then all the decisions that have worked their way up that have got to the end, they're changed on the computer by that front row of people, or if there's only one there, that one. There might be 20,000 there, but you've all got to agree. So that's the government system as they do it. Very, very simple. You stay at home. You can answer questions any time you like and don't answer them. Obviously, the less activity, you stay here. You know, you stay up this end. So if you get suddenly a really good idea, people want you at the front with a really good idea. Now, there's no finance, so all the way round here there'll be climate. Yeah, or any subject you want, as many as you like. In fact, if there isn't a subject, you're allowed to add it. There you go. Yeah, I remember them saying that, because I did ask a lot of questions about this, because we were all dodgy about what and voting. This cuts out voting completely. You don't have to vote. You can make a difference by doing the course in building work, or doing the course in plumbing, or whatever, doing the course, becoming good at it. Then you can join, then you can change. If you want something changed, you get on this end. This row here, anybody can email. Emails that come in for, say, housing will actually be taken on by the first row of people. And they'll think, oh, that's a good idea. Then they can feed it down. Now that feeding down process could take half an hour from the time you've got off the phone. Because everyone's at home and nobody's doing anything, and it goes on. And this allows old people, or people who have to sit at home in a wheelchair or can't walk or something, them to join it with all their knowledge and expertise from years and years of doing that job. That all doesn't go to waste. Most people, when they retire, that's the end of it. All their knowledge, all their usefulness, cut 5 o'clock on the Friday, on the day they leave. Now voting, we all know voting, there's hardly anyone to choose from. Then you're stuck with them for 5 years. They never stick to their policies. I could go on about that for literally hours, but everyone knows about that anyway, so I'm not wasting any more time on that. This cuts that out. No voting. No messing about. Massive amounts of money are spent on the election when that could go elsewhere. Massive amount of money are spent on Parliament, the buildings. The chaps have to get in a suit all day. I'd much rather get up at 10 o'clock, go and have some breakfast, get on my mobile, look at my screen and say, right, what's happened? Oh, so-and-so wants to build something there. Yes, let's... oh, wait a minute, no, he mustn't use that concrete joist, he's got to use that one, quick. Text him, that feeds to the next person. They say, yeah, that's a good idea. Next one. 5, 6 conversations later, and you can have as many layers as you like, so any amount of people in each layer, and any amount of layers, that bit is all the mobile devices. So that doesn't exist. So there you go. That's how that hasn't taken very long, has it? How long have we got? yeah, 14 minutes to explain how other planets do the government. They've really cut down on all the rubbish, and they don't waste, you know, they don't waste resources. I can't say money, they haven't got any money, but the resources. Now, you get the Centre of Excellence systems coming up, so I'm not going to explain that, but you're probably wondering what the incentives are for builders to do building work, because to the person having the building work done, it's all free. I'll show you how that works when we get to the Centres of Excellence, which is number 20. That's the replacement for money, whereby nobody can fiddle anybody and nothing can possibly go wrong. You can't pinch anything off anybody because the receipt system stays on your mobile. So whatever you purchase is on your mobile, and if it appears in someone else's house, they get all their stuff taken away instead. They can't be fined because there isn't any money. But yeah, I'll show you how that works. But pretty much every planet has got this very same system. There is a section dealing with space, a big section, a bit like NASA in the United States. Yeah, except they've all got pretty much the same too. Like there's I definitely remember a building section in every single one. There was a transport section in every single one, although that was very small because the transport system ran itself. Because it's completely automatic, runs off the mobile. But I'll do the transport system is next. I might try and get that in today if I can, because that's a good one. I enjoy that, especially the diagrams. So I hope you can see that. So it does look like your president's in the middle, and all your backbenchers are up here, and all your front benchers are there with the, you know, party leaders. It does look a bit like that, but and you know, it's been like that, right? Because that is the sort of pattern. But in fact, everyone in that so-called building is actually sitting at home doing what they want to do, not wasting resources, sitting on their own couch, watching their own TV. Nice view and that, you know, I mean, there's no and you can concentrate properly when you're on your own in your own building too. Might be some kids running about, but generally most people can use the telephone, can't they? So there's no excuse. Yeah, so nobody can influence anybody else because nobody knows who anyone else is. I mean, you might meet a person on the street who says, "Oh, I'm in the space section," or whatever, you know. But I can't remember all the subjects, but some had subjects for things like air quality, because they had done in their atmosphere, and they were living either under glass domes or underground with a big air filtration system in every section. So there was a, you know, air quality. I seem to remember on one, because they'd done, you know, they're doing what we're doing basically. They're destroying their atmosphere, or had already destroyed it. And funnily enough, just as a warning, our temperature's going up slowly like this, maybe half a degree in a couple of years or whatever. Theirs went like that to start with, and then suddenly when everything caught up with everything else, it went zzz, straight up. All CO2 in the atmosphere. So it didn't go linear, it went exponential. Bang. Got worse and worse and worse, and then it compounded itself, and the graph straight up like that. So, you know, you might be getting hot slowly now, but it'll get hot quicker later. So yeah, that I think that is all I've got to say on that. I'm sure there was something else. Somebody said I should say something. No. So just to recap, you can't join any of these subjects unless you know something about it. There's no good, you know, at the moment we've got a case where a minister, position comes up, you know, for a section of the cabinet, and say it's finance, or the Chancellor decides he's going to drop out. Now here, if the Chancellor drops out, you've not got a problem, because, or somebody like it, because obviously Chancellor's no money, there's probably 30 or 40 other people doing the same job, so that's not a problem. But you know, what happens is you get old boys club, old so-so can do it, you know. You ask him and he says, don't know anything about it, but I'll have a go, you know, it's money, isn't it? Oh yes, sort of thing. So he goes into a job he's got no idea about. So, you know, I don't know whether Boris did it this time, but certainly when the Prime Ministers do their little cabinet reshuffle, they shove people in who are like fish out of water. Oh, he'll be okay at that, don't worry about him, you know. Doesn't know anything about it. I don't know, it's just unbelievable. Like these idiots who keep the minister, the Home Office minister, you know, they fully, I don't know, no, I could go on and on anyway, but yeah, they've just got no idea basically. You know, they're old boys club, get her a job, get him a job, you know, it doesn't matter about the subject, you know, nobody knows about anything, and they think, oh, he's got a degree in biology, so he must be clever, so put him in the money section, you know. That's ridiculous. But here, there's not that many subjects really. A lot of things run themselves. There's obviously the centres of excellence. They tend to run themselves, because if you can think of a hobby, there'll be a centre of excellence for it. The motoring hobby, in some countries the whole road system has gone to hobbies, and the main transport system is underground, and you call it up with your mobile, and you go from underneath your house or in the garage or whatever, and go like you would along a, you know, faster and faster, A road, B road, motorway the fastest, along air tubes. But I'll show you that. That's next, that one. But yeah, that would probably have a system too, because that does take maintenance. Runs itself, but the air pumps and all the various valves, should I say, will need the odd amount of maintenance. So transport is one. Housing, that's definitely housing, yes, but most stuff above ground, especially the planet I looked at, most of the stuff above ground was to do with olden times. Everything else was underground. And in the planet that they kept showing me, basically that was yeah, generally because of their atmosphere. They needed control of the air. They'd run out of heating materials to create heat for people living on the surface. So everything went underground basically. Where obviously when you see the building section, don't know where that is. It's not on here. I might have already done it. Yeah, basically it's underground. You get less radiation from the sun. 2-degree difference in temperature, lots of different things, lots of different, well, many advantages over a house on the surface. So that's all I'm going to say. I think let's see what the time is. 24, yeah, that's about right. So I'm sure there was something else on the government side that I had to say. I think it was probably something to do with how our government is run. But if you know anything about government, if you've clicked on this government, you probably already know what's going on. And you know, they've got nothing left to tax. They're trying to get control of us. We demo virtually everything like mad, you know, demo climate and all this, but nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever happens. But with this, you haven't got any choice. It either happens, or some people all go back levels until they can cope with it, until they can get it sorted and get back to the front again. So, but like I say, there was one planet who they said hadn't changed any laws for 10,000 years. There was no employment. All the bad jobs were done by robots. All the semi-bad jobs were done by the people, but for reward, to centres of excellence. A week, you know, it's like a holiday, but doing the hobby you want, or a holiday, sitting on the beach. You can earn it. The people who didn't want to work got all their food free, their transport, their accommodation, and their mobile entertainment, that is. So you're talking about music, television, games. If they wanted anything else, they had to do pass a test or pass an exam, which might have meant going to a centre of excellence for your practical, and the rest of the course is on the screen. Kids left to, on one particular planet, left to learn when they want to learn. Now, if they want a toy, they see the toys on the screen. If they want the toy, they have to learn something to get that toy, or to get that time doing their leisure activity, or football, or whatever. I can't remember what the activities were, but I'm sure they're similar to ours. But yeah, so that's how all that works. Okay, right, I'm probably going to do the transport one next, because that's my most exciting one, as far as I know. But government, and when we get to, that's not there yet. Yeah, centres of excellence is coming. Medical, death. If you want to know what happens when you die, that's a good one. You don't go to heaven or hell, or in absolute reality you don't, but in your head you might. Yeah, so that's it. Right, signing off, and I'm going to go straight on to the transport section. Thank you very much.